So I dramatically underestimated how difficult it is to come up with a good intro. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Doing an SSTO. I'm going to take this guy to Minmus. I've just got to get a little bit more science, so I have no problems hacking these parts. Because, well, I'd been there before, and with the 0.9 release, I lost all my progress on this. So I'm just going to head out there, get the science back, and continue on from there. I'm going to reset these parts a little bit later. But for now, yeah, I'll just leave them as is. It shouldn't take too long to get out there, but who knows? This is going to be by far the most time-consuming. Hold on one sec. Ah, that's nice. It's my Mountain Dew sponsorship. Anyway, it shouldn't take too long to get out there, but I'll probably end up cutting this part out if I could figure out how to get my video editor to work. But that's probably not going to happen. So yeah, we're just cruising up. For those who are unfamiliar with the concept of SSTOs, SSTO stands for single stage to orbit, and the idea is that there's nothing that breaks away in between takeoff and getting up into orbits, hence the single stage thing. You normally need like Rapier engines, or you could try and use several different types of engine, or several types of engines, like a couple air-breathing ones in a rocket or something. But the Rapier ones are the easiest. These are from the B9 Aerospace pack. These are called the Sabres, as are the intakes. But neither here nor there. Anyway, the whole idea is with an SSTO anyway, with the launch procedure, is you want to get going as fast as you can right before your engines cut out and you have to switch to your rocket power. And that the idea is that it saves, I guess, gas, and you could reuse the SSTOs as many times as you like, because it could just come in and glide to a nice landing. A lot of people think or say that you need to land back at the airport or the other airport over there, but you don't. Just anywhere on the planet works. As you may or may not be able to tell, this is kind of a thing for like novice pilots, I guess. I'm going to pitch it up a little bit because I'm trying to speed this thing along. You notice this bar up at the top, this is the atmosphere density bar, and we're at the densest part, and we want to get out of that as quickly as we can. Because pretty much this is just wasting fuel. As long as you're in here, you're wasting a good portion of fuel. The bad side is, as the atmosphere gets less dense, these get less air flowing through them, and your air-breathing engines back here, and these ones are in air-breathing mode, they start getting less intake air because the atmosphere is not as dense. You counteract this by going laterally very fast. It's not uncommon to get to about 1,200 meters per second before you switch over to your rocket power. So now that we're passing this threshold here, about 13,500 meters, we're gonna level out a little and try and pick up as much lateral speed as we can. Also, during SSTO flight, I find that's easy if you know that this is your how fast you're going up or down. This is the 0, so if it's up here, you're going up. Down here, you're going down. So a lot of times in SSTOs, you want to level out your velocity vector, sort of like, you point yourself down so you could keep your intake air, build up more velocity and stuff like that. And sometimes you get that velocity vector real close, and you can just keep an eye on this. As long as it's still pointing up, you're still going up. See, now we're going down, so I gotta pitch it back up a little, and then there's a little bit of a delay between them, so you don't want to be too aggressive when you maneuver this, especially because if you're too aggressive in an aircraft, it's pretty easy to lose control, especially if you have something really weighed down with fuel and stuff like that, a lot like an SSTO would be. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this guy looks. This is generally not advised, but I feel comfortable enough to do it. In here I got just the standard science stuff. Got a docking port here. Let me close up those guys. Want to get going faster? Yeah, I got a docking port there. Standard RCS stuff. I should have plenty of solar power and all that such nonsense. So I shouldn't have much problems getting there, controlling it, all that crap. Oh, and I have my RCS tank set up back here. I don't know if it actually reduces the drag, but if you look at it from the front, they're not actually protruding at all. So if it did have an effect on drag, I imagine this would be pretty minimal. These Sabre engines, like I said before, B9 Aerospace Pack, they have really good vectoring. So that's why I like to use them. And they're just about all around better than the Rapier engines. Alright, so we're getting some entry effects running about Mach 3 here. And we're still doing great. We're still having plenty of intake air. We are not worried about this at all. So we're gonna... Hi, lady. So we're gonna keep going just the way we're going. And see our velocity vectors dropping. That's because we're getting less lift from the air because it's less dense. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Like I said before, it's really nice to look up here because, see, we're still going up slowly, which is fine because we want to be going laterally. We want to be going laterally as fast as we can before we have to switch to rockets. So it's, yeah, ideally you want to get this right, you know, down here even if you can, but this is just fine. This will work. Oh, I also have Kerbal Engineer on here. Super useful. It can tell you all kinds of stuff about your orbit. Yeah, my lady friend's looking at my microphone because I put a sock on it, an old sock on it, and I put it on there because whenever I say like T's and B's and D's and stuff like that into the microphone, the air hits the microphone and makes it sound like garbage. It makes it sound like somebody's like flicking it or something. So I had to put a sock on it, and it totally helps. It helps a lot more than I thought it would, actually. I'm as shocked as you. Believe it. Anyway, we're doing just fine. As you can see, we're 24,000. We're at 0.09. We could actually do to level this out a little bit. We're going very fast. You could actually, a good tip. Oh god. Good tip is your engines. They'll start to, if you have engines like this, right? One most likely will die before the other one, right? If you get too low on your intake air, which it looks like I'm about to do, one's going to die before the other. You keep an eye on the nose. If the nose starts swaying side to side, or you start hearing that, that's your indication to go ahead and switch to rocket mode. I think that did it. You garbage factory. What did you do? You should definitely... toggle mode. I have to do this manually now. I should have reset this. Okay, now. There we go. Okay, so we got rocket power now. Our intake doesn't matter. We will close this crap off. I thought I had these on action groups, but apparently I didn't. So they're all closed. We're gonna pitch up pretty steep now, because as long as we're in the atmosphere, our apoapsis is gonna drop. See, look, I'm gonna cut the engine, you'll see it drop. See? So, actually, it's not dropping that slow. We may actually be able to escape like this. But you can tell, if you don't have Kerbal Engineer or whatever, you can check, just hold your mouse over up here, press the M key, you go into the map, hold your mouse over here, and it tells you when your apoapsis is going to happen. So for us that's 7 minutes, but we're going to be out of the atmosphere long before that time, and I think this is going to be plenty for us. It's really hard to tell how loud I should have this microphone. It's pretty difficult. I just wanted to let you know. I mean,
try not leaning forward.
I know, but it's like it's a thing. Like you feel like because it's a microphone, you have to get real close to it like this. No. And you don't have to.
The old ones.
Yeah, this isn't an old microphone. This is like a new one. So like I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, so we're up. We're 65,000. I like to wait until 70,000 before. I like to wait before, or until 70,000 before I pull out my solar panels. No, man. You can tell you're in space because the music starts. That's always nice. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm pretty nervous about this particular action group not working, because I have another action group that I'm going to use on Minmus to get off, and if that's not working right, I'm kind of going to be in a pretty precarious situation. So hopefully that happens. You don't really need to set up a maneuver node here, but I like to just to know which way I'm going to be facing in advance. You don't really... It just kind of gives you a heads up as to what kind of things you're going to do. Really, all you need to do is, when you're at your apoapsis, you just burn. You just burn prograde, and you're good to go. That's it, right? I just like to do this just so I know about how long I need to go. Also, these are new features that were added in 0.9. All this does is it automatically steers your ship to the point you click on, right? Like, I set up that maneuver node, it's down there, so if I click on this, my ship's automatically going to steer me towards that. Right? And it'll just hold it there. It's kind of wonky. It really, in my experience anyway, it frequently overshoots and does this like back and forth. But, you know, it's not, I guess it's not too bad. So we'll just, you know, I'm going to kick this forward a little bit. Forgive my keyboard, it's mighty loud. A little bit late. I thought I was doing alright, but whatever. There we go. Sorry, I had to... Yeah, it's never really a good idea to burn while you're on a setting other than just this stability assist mode, because you'll see, I mean, I saw it, I don't know if you guys saw it, but if you guys rewind, you can see these going back and forth. That's the gimbaling of the engine, trying to keep it straight, because the maneuver node is you know, wobbling back and forth and stuff. Okay, so, Minmus. We're going to set Minmus as target, and we're probably going to have to do a burn to get rid of this weird angle that our orbits have. To do that, you click on the either ascending node and pull down. I'm on the ascending node here, so I'm going to pull down until these two switch around. Alternatively, you can go to the descending node and pull up, and it'll have the same effect. You want to get as close to 0 as you can, and well, that's about as close as it gets, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. But yeah, I like to have this, well, just because it is a minor convenience. Other than that, it's really not that good. It's a real hard time just getting to a place and staying there without doing this weird back and forth. So I'm just gonna hit this manually. What I think it does is it just doesn't properly account for the momentum, and it doesn't pull off on its steering stuff, and let you kind of coast to where you're supposed to be. So we have another minute. Thank goodness for time acceleration, because I am terrible at video editing right now, so this is going to be probably an issue. If you guys didn't know, with the new release, if you press Z, you'll automatically just go to full throttle, and X will automatically kill it, in case you didn't know that either. But yeah, if you press Z, it'll just automatically go to the top. You don't have to worry about just holding shift or any of that crap. Okay, so now that we're kind of lined up, yeah, we're good. I'll call that good. Good enough. Let's see where Minmus is. We're going to try and estimate where he's going to be. I think he's going to be over that way, so I'm going to do that. Just, whoa, no, that was the one. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. It's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I want to go forward just a little. It's best if you get the encounter I should say. It's best if you get the encounter close to your APO. Which this is. I have no real reason to complain about that, but it's best if you get it close, so that way you're not going very fast whenever you encounter it. You're going to be going at your slowest point up there. So it's best to just try and aim for that. That's what people talk about if you've seen the videos where like if you know, I don't know if you've seen them, but there's people who say planets have to be within a certain angle like this. They have to be within a certain angle relative to you and the sun, and that makes them a viable target for you to fly to. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, you could get to any planet just about regardless of where it is. It's just a matter of how efficiently you're going to do it and how fast you're going to be going when you get into the sphere of influence of the planet, right? So there's a chance you could like get from here to Moho where it is, even if it's way out of whack, but you may be going so fast that you'll just shoot right off and jettison yourself off into space. Or you might have to crash down or burn an enormous amount of fuel just to slow down enough to land or get into orbit. So that's what they're talking about. Flip this mug over just to get more solar power because we don't need it, and I like to have a lot of things I don't need, I guess. It's pretty funny to me now because my wife is sitting over here eating like super extreme flaming hot Cheetos, and she's having a hard time with it. She's it's not going as well as she planned, I think. Alright, we're just time accelerating until we get to our node, because I don't feel like trying to fill up like 10 minutes worth of stuff. I'm not that chatty, not yet. Not that used to making videos or anything like that yet, so I gotta try and accelerate. Get out of those awkward silent moments. Alright, burn time. Like I said, it's best to switch over to stability assist mode, and also when you're doing a burn like this, so much better to be in your map mode. Because that way you can tell. I mean, this is good, but it's better if you're looking this way, because this is inaccurate. And I'll tell you why after the burn. I'll go over it a little bit, but let me concentrate on this for now. Alright, we're getting there, Yeah, I really recommend the Kerbal Engineer mod. Dang it, Kerbal Engineer mod. Okay, so that's a lesson that I should have taught you guys, or that I should have said too. I don't know why I'm saying like I'm teaching you all this stuff, but anyway, if you're doing a maneuver like this, you don't have to full throttle all the way through. You could scale it down a little as you get close to the end, or else you can risk doing what I just did and overshoot. And now I have to turn back towards my retrograde and burn a little bit that way, just to get back to where I was. So here we go. And there it is. X, X, X. Okay. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're fine. Oh. Okay. So anyway, the maneuver nodes. Okay, so maneuver nodes, they work on the presupposition that you can exert this much change in your velocity at this one very specific point in time, right? So if I can, right, let's say I'm like, I want to set up a maneuver node. What that is essentially doing is saying, okay computer, what if here I changed my velocity out this way, and I changed it by this much, what would happen? And it calculates all that crap out there, right? But the maneuver nodes, like I said, they're doing this on the presupposition that you could change your velocity all at once, right? And we can't, right? That's why it says estimated burn 11 seconds, right? Or whatever, because you can't change your velocity that fast. So maneuver nodes are good for kind of getting yourself close, but don't trust them intrinsically, right? It's better if you're in the map mode and just are watching it like this, because if I wasn't in the map mode, I might not have seen that I was going to shoot off into out that way, right? that being said, let's do some time acceleration and get there. Oh, you could use the period and comma keys to time accelerate too. I recommend being really careful with it. It's really easy. I've seen Markiplier do this like 3 or 4 times, where he's trying to get to a planet and he's time accelerating too fast, and he gets within the gravitational sphere of influence of the celestial body in question, and he time accelerates right past it and gets shot off towards the sun. That happened several times. Sorry, Mark. I don't know if that throws you under the bus. I don't know if you probably won't even see it. So, I'm not worried. So let's go 180, because we're a little high, and we're just coming in for a landing anyway, so it doesn't really even matter, does it? There's north, here's 180. This is stuff you kind of learn. When you're in the sphere of influence of a celestial body, well, I mean, you're going to always be within the sphere of influence of something, because there's the sun there, right? Unless you have the interstellar mod. But I digress. So, whenever you're in the sphere of influence of something, this grav ball changes, right? And so, I can tell I'm up from the planet, so if I point myself south, I'm going to go down. Right? See? It's going down. I'm just trying to get close because I'm going to land on it. It doesn't really matter. I just need to get close enough so that I could kind of judge where it is I want to land. There, that'll do okay. And then once you get in the sphere of influence, look, it's going to change. Just like that. Alright? And what happened was, it was being calculated for Kerbin, what my orbit is going to be relative to Kerbin. And now, since I'm within the sphere of influence of Minmus, this is what my orbit is going to be relative to Minmus, right? It looks pretty different, but it's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up a little bit, go to the periapsis. I'm going very slow, as you can see. That one was a little bit fast, kind of got me worried. It's always, for some reason, more difficult for me to properly time the approach to a periapsis than an apoapsis. I think it's just because you accelerate as you approach a periapsis, and you decelerate as you approach an apoapsis. So, you're going slow out here, click the time accelerate, so you're going this fast, and then as you get closer, it's... and you just got shot out. I'm not good with sound effects. Man, this keyboard is, I feel like it's louder than I think it is. I do. Because, like, I had the same thing with my voice. Like, I was listening to some of the other recordings I did, and I was like, wow, I am loud. I need to turn it down. And, like right now my voice sounds quiet in my head. I mean, louder than if I unplugged my headphones. But I can also hear my keyboard. So it's like, oh, jeez. Yeah. Alright, so we're just slowing ourselves down. This is generally the most efficient way to shrink your orbit. I'm okay with landing at dusk. That's okay. I'm alright with that. Alright, so this is probably something that I see a lot of people struggle with. I mean, not a lot, I guess, because there's not really a lot of Kerbal Space Program videos of people who don't really know how to play, I guess. But I see it a lot. I watch Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and other people, and they try to do moon landings a lot. And something that I see them do, which is a common, well, understandable. I don't know how common it is. It's understandable that they just point towards the retrograde vector, right there, and just burn, and burn until they get to 0, and then they get on the moon, and they get close to the moon, and they, their ship crashes because they're going sideways too fast, and that's because you don't actually want to burn directly on the retrograde marker until it's all the way up right here. Right? You don't want to touch it until it's all the way up here. And what's going to happen is, what's happening is you want to stay a little bit closer to the ground. how do I say this? You want to keep the retrograde vector in between your reticule and straight up, right? And what's going to happen is when you turn your engines on, it's going to push this retrograde up this way. And what you're doing in real life here, or whatever, what you're doing is you're killing your sideways velocity, right? You're pointing your ship sideways opposite the direction it's going, right? So it's gonna kill that sideways velocity, and then all the velocity you're gonna have is gonna be going straight down, which is exactly what you want, right? So that way you could just point your ship straight up, slow down right before you hit, and have a nice gentle landing. But yeah, that's a little, I guess, tip. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really an expert on the whole thing, but I've landed before. I have an understanding of how to do it. Just watch. Now that I said that, it's gonna be chaos. By the way, this is not a standard landing procedure. I don't, as you may or may not have noticed, have any sort of landing gear or landing legs on here. I only have landing gear. And, well, the moon doesn't really have an atmosphere. Yeah, it would take me a really long time to stop or to try and land on here like a plane. It would be really hard to do. So what I'm going to do is I am going to land like you would a lander, straight down, and then once I get really close, I'm just going to turn, pull down, essentially, so my wheels are facing the ground, and then just land on the wheels. I have these rockets here because I'm kind of trying to do something a little bit fancy. So okay, I'm lined up. I'm gonna go ahead, turn on my rockets a little bit. This is gonna help me out. Also, this is gonna help me out a little bit extra because they have vectoring on them, so I can turn much easier than I was before. See how that retrograde marker? I'm kind of dancing with it down here, trying to push it up towards its straight up position. And once you get it there, or close to, I recommend you just cut it off. I'm going to turn on RCS so I can turn this thing a little bit faster than what I'm turning it. Because this is going to be an issue. Okay. I'm really big on trying to save RCS fuel as much as I can, so I'm really big about trying to turn it off. And I say that, and more often than not, I'm actually guilty of just forgetting to turn it off, and then time accelerating, and then I'll be around another planet with no RCS fuel, and just SOL, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead, just hotkeyed all this stuff up. I'm going to keep it right now. I have a lab to, clean all my experiments and such. We are very much not going fast, and also we may be landing in the dark and on a hill. But yeah, I guess I gotta put my money where my mouth is after talking all that stuff. So I'm gonna try and do this, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna turn you this way. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to turn you this way. Yeah. That seems like a better idea. Okay. So even though I'm doing this in an SSTO, it's the same principle until the very end where I have to turn this guy so that the wheels hit the ground. Also, applying the brakes helps. But yeah, if you're just in a lander, you just go straight down like this. It's much easier. Also, you want to try and avoid doing what I'm doing here and landing in the dark on a hill. You don't want to do either of those two things independently. If you can avoid it, it's not like the end of the world. You'll be fine, but it does add some extra garbage, some extra stress to an already stressful event, I'll say. Right? As you go slower and get closer down to the ground, you'll notice that the retrograde marker kind of likes to dance around a little because you're pointing straight up, and it likes to repel itself. Oh boy. Oh jeez. This is not good. This is... Oh no, we're okay. We're okay. Shh, shh, shh. Okay. Small difficulty. that's something I definitely forgot to mention. You need to switch your nav ball to surface mode for sure whenever you're going in for a landing, because otherwise it's not going to work out for you. You're going to be going, you know, like I just said, you're going to be going sideways relative to, you're going to be going sideways when you're supposed to be trying to go down, right? So that's no good. We don't like that. That's bad news bears. So, okay, now we're in surface mode. Now our retrograde vector is here. It's right up at the top where we want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and disable my RCS again because I don't feel like I need it right now. I like to hold on to it for emergencies. No, you stay there. You stay there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. That happens sometimes. That just means you killed all of your velocity. And so your markers are kind of not knowing where to go because you're not really going very fast in any one direction specifically. Alright, and the markers work by taking the numbers you're going in any given direction. That was gross. By taking the markers in any given direction, or the velocities in any given direction, like weighing them against each other. So you'll see it go sideways like that. That means that you're going this way, you know, on the ground. You're going that way, but it's really slow. So, I mean, like if it changes at that point about 4 meters per second, I mean, I could turn. I'll turn and face it, I guess. Or, well, no, I want to. I don't know. Whatever. I guess not. I'll just hang on like this. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try and kill this velocity a little. Alright. Oh. Alright, so the reason why you don't particularly want to land in the shade, or in the, heaven forbid, on the dark side of the moon, is because you can't see your shadow. And a shadow is a really big tell for how high you are off the ground, because this isn't right? Like that tells you what it would be, or how high you would be if there was an ocean, what that sea level would be, I guess. It tells you what sea level is, right? So yeah, I'm 2,000 meters over sea level, but I'm not 2,000 meters over the ground. I could tell you that. See? There we go. Actually, you know, zooming out like that's not too bad of an idea. You want to try and keep your speed pretty low. I mean, it's kind of a balancing act, though, because you don't want to have your engines burning all the time, right? Because that's just wasting fuel. But you don't want them to be... yeah, I think we'll be fine. You don't want them to be... You don't want to try and do a suicide burn, is what I'm saying. You don't want to go without engines at all. And then... yeah, you don't want to go without engines... Sorry. You don't want to go without engines at all on that you know, initial descent and then go full throttle right close to the end. Because it's very, 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 very easy to screw that up. To not time it right and to, you know, end up, you know, killing yourself. Which is not good. I am so happy I put those wheels on those wings, man. This is kind of a rocky landing. Anyway, so we have this gear. Oh, actually we have lights. Hey, alright. I mean, they're not, I kind of set them up for the, you know, for the docking, right? But, you know, lights are lights. Can't argue with that. Alright, so we have, let's see if we have a crew report that we could do. We're going to transmit that. I think. You know, we can probably extend these and maybe get a little bit of sunlight. And this is dusk, so I kind of want to do this quickly. Jeb, let's do an EVA real quick. EVA report. Hey, great. And then, oh, I can store experiments. And then just go ahead and board again. And then I'm going to transmit that. EVA reports and crew reports they transfer at 100% efficiency. So, you know, if you have them, why not just, you know, send them. There's no point in not doing it. I mean, I guess if you're losing a lot of power, which, I mean, I guess we are. Yeah, it's about dusk. We should probably shut down. Well, you know, we could clean the experiments, maybe. I don't remember if cleaning the experiments takes a lot of power or not. Actually, you're bored. I want to get one of the scientists out. Let's get one of the scientists out. Hey, Gendorf, you you don't need that. You don't need that garbage. Hey, all right. So we're just gonna come here, grab the data. Sorry, we're gonna come here, grab the data, and yeah, it makes it unusable. Thank you. I think I have I don't know if I have a temperature scan. I may have a temperature scan. There you go. At least you didn't fall out of the ship. Hey, idiot. Let's go this way. Okay. Alright. Gendorf, he's a scientist, not an astronaut. So I can't get too mad, I guess. Let's, go this way, then. Also, I don't know if you know, if you have Kerbal Engineer, you need to have one of these little chips in your craft for it to work. Oh my goodness. You just stay right there. Okay. I'm going to EVA this whole effing thing. Okay. So I don't think barometric pressure. I think I took temperature. Do I have that? Okay. Yeah, I got the temperature scan, material study, and mystery kit. So we're good. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put it in our lab. And board the lab. And then we're going to use our lab. First off, we could shut that and close these. And we can use our lab to clean the experiments. And then we could just reuse them. How fantastic is that?